Valhalla Hills. Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the words. The words of the developer. Lead your people, survive the wilderness, fight for honor, reclaim your eternal reward. A brand new strategy game from the developers of Cultures and the Settlers 2. So what is Valhalla Hills? Well, basically this game is a level-based game where you have to beat one level and get to the next level, and you are trying to ascend your Vikings who you control to Valhalla. You do that by getting them through a portal. Now, there's a portal on every map, and that portal will be guarded by monsters. You will know how many by going up to the portal and clicking on it, and it'll tell you how many monsters is guarding that portal. And when you open the portal, then monsters will come out and start attacking your settlement, so you have to make sure you have sufficient guards around the portal to win that fight. And that's what you have to do in the game. You can also build a portal and sacrifice offerings to the gods, if you like, and they will give you safe passage through the portal. As the game goes on, the price of that sacrifice goes up and up. For example, it may start as I don't know, 4 or 5 planks of wood, but by the time you get onto the higher levels you may have to chop your knob off and stick that, I don't know, but they'll go up, it'll go up. But anyway, this is how the game plays out, and you start off on a small island and the islands get bigger, and what you have to do is you have to build up an army. And how do you do that? Well, you build houses and more settlers come. Oh, did I say settlers? Damn, I tried to get through this without saying settlers, but it's the settlers, guys. That's what this is, kinda. I mean, this was made by one of the guys from the original Settlers 2 game. Now, what was the Settlers? You must know what the Settlers are. It was made by Blue Byte Software, German company, back in the 90s, and Settlers 1 was just awesome. Settlers 2 was good, but Settlers 3 was the best Settlers game in my opinion. It went on to do Settlers 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 20, 80 or whatever. I don't know where it stopped, but I got totally disillusioned after 4 or 5. They were just awful after that. They lost what made the Settlers good, in my opinion, after that. And I always ended up back on Settlers 3, which was almost a perfect game, guys. It was bloody amazing, Settlers 3. I can't understand why no one's remade it, because that game would really do well now. If any of you guys are game developers and you want a game idea, Settlers 3. I actually thought this was Settlers 3 until I played it for a few hours, and then I realised that it just wasn't, and I was so gutted, because this is the closest that I've actually got to a modern day take on Settlers 3. So this plays out like Settlers 3 up to the point of the objective, really. You see, what you have to do in this, as you had to do in the Settlers games, you would build a woodcutter, he would chop down trees. You would build a forester, he would replant the trees. You would build a stonemason, he would get stone from the quarry and he would make bricks. You would then build a wheat farm. The wheat farm would sow his wheat. You would then make a windmill so that the wheat can be turned into flour. You would then make a bakery so that the flour can be turned into bread, which will feed your people because they need feeding. You would make a fisherman who would fish. You would make a hunter who would hunt. You would make a prospector who would prospect the hills and find gold. He'd find coal, he'd find sulfur, he'd find iron. You would make a weaponsmith, a toolsmith to make tools and weapons, and then you would build up an army and build castles, and the castles would get inhabited by your soldiers. You would build archers, spearmen, and swordsmen in the original Settlers, and it was just fantastic game. And you do pretty much all that in Valhalla Hills, but it's just not as good. It's just not as good. I found that it's quite, I mean, it's early access, so this is all subject to change, hopefully, because I had a lot of my guys starving, yet I had piles and piles of bread and fish and meat, and they just decided they weren't going to eat that, and they were just like starving. I also had loads of sticks and stuff to make bow and arrows and axes, yet me soldiers wouldn't go and make them, and it was just so frustrating that you're making the resources, but the people aren't actually using them. So yeah, it's got bugs in it. It's got bugs. It looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely gorgeous, though. I mean, especially at night time when the lights go down. When the sun goes down and the lights all come on and the little campfires. Oh man, it looks so quaint. It looks so nice. But it doesn't deliver anywhere near the level that the Settlers 3 did. And what really kills the game for me is that you're doing the same thing over and over again way too frequently. You see, you might spend 20 minutes building up your settlement to get either the sacrifice or the guards to be able to combat the portal. You walk through the portal, then you start again on another island, and it's kind of like, I just built the wheat farm and a whole thing and the windmill, and I've got to build it all again. All right, okay. Then you do it again, and then the battle to get through the portal lasts what, 20 seconds? And then it's like, yeah, you did it. Is it on the map? Oh, so I've got to build another fucking wheat field and another windmill and a chopper and a fisherman. Fucking hell, man. Alright, I'll do it. There you go. I've got my little army. Oh, 20 guys are coming through the portal this time. I'll beat them in another 20 seconds. And he's through the portal. And there's another map. And you got to build your wheat farm, your windmill, your bakery, your fisherman, your hunter, your woodman. And it's like, I can't keep doing this. I really can't keep doing this because there's no real big challenge here. There's no big deep game here. It's just rinse and repeat, level after level after level after level. And I kind of stopped playing, and I actually went onto YouTube and I found somebody who was doing a let's play of this game, and I forwarded it to about 25 levels. I mean, it was his 20th video, so probably about 20 levels, and it's the same thing. Exactly the same thing happening, and I just thought, I can't do this. This is not enough. You see, in the Settlers 3 you had a campaign which nobody played. I mean, all my friends who had Settlers, it was like, have you done the campaign? No. Why would I want to do that? It's boring. Because you're just doing the same thing over and over again, you see. It was boring. What made Settlers 3 so good was custom battles. Because custom battles, you set it up yourself. You could literally just say, I want a huge fucking map. I want lots of resources on the map. And I want the Egyptians, the Romans. I want 4 armies, essentially. So you'd have 4 armies. I want them 3 controlled by the AI. I want them on my side, and this is my army. I'm going to be the Romans. And one game would last days. Absolutely days. You would expand and expand and expand, and you would take over the enemy bases by literally having hundreds of guys. You would have, like, and there was the fog of war, so you couldn't see a thing. You would make maybe, I don't know, 100 archers, 100 spearmen, 100 swordsmen, and you would feed them with alcohol and gold to get them leveled up, and they looked awesome. And then you'd send them into the enemy lands, and it would look like the enemy had hardly any soldiers, you know, maybe it's 100, and you'd easily dispatch them. And then all of a sudden you'd just see a huge army of yellow people coming across. It was his AI friend just charging into your base, and it was amazing. It was absolutely fucking amazing, guys. And you get none of that with this. It's not a patch on it. It's missed the whole point of what made the Settlers such a great game. It wasn't the campaign. It was the fact that you could play these custom battles, and it even had multiplayer as well. But this doesn't have any of that, and it's $15.99, and it's such a shame because it looks beautiful. And you know, if this was developed, I mean, I know he's put a lot into it, but if this was developed along the line of Settlers 3, because he's got the scale just right, this could be the next Settlers 3, but it would need redoing, really. You'd need more armies. But I mean, I don't like knocking people because he's put a lot of work into this, but it isn't worth the price for me at all, because it misses the point of what I got out of the Settlers. Now, I'm not saying that what I got out of the Settlers was what everybody else got. So if you were a fan of the campaign mode in the Settlers, then you're probably going to love this, because it's a very relaxing game, and it is nice to build your little settlement and to get the farm going and all that, but it just needs to work on a few of the bugs, because there are bugs in this, like I've mentioned earlier on in this video. So there you go, guys, and you need to make the guys go yep, yep. No, that was Settlers. I missed the yeps. I missed the little guys going yep, yep, yep. But there you go, guys. Valhalla Hills wasn't for me. It might be for you, but I'm gonna give this one a thumb down.